So that nearly going broke thing, best thing that ever happened.
Today we're having beer with Luke Mangang, restaurateur. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, but can you spell it?
No.
No. There you go.
I'm not a writer.
You got issues, man.
Yeah, I know. So Luke Mangang and Co. Today, 19 restaurants, almost 700 staff, is it? Partnerships, licenses, all in place.
Yeah.
From the outside, it looks like a very consistent and efficient group of businesses. That wasn't always the case, was it?
It was certainly never planned, no.
No.
But, who knows? Things just happen, don't they? I mean, kicked out of school young and just sort of fell into it.
Fell into 19 restaurants.
Well, probably 10, 11 years ago, I was nearly broke.
Yeah.
So when I went through that stage, I started to look at things because, with restaurants, they're risky business,
Yeah.
As you said, on the outside, looking in, it looks great, but the amount of staff you need behind it, rents and things like that, it's a big business. So, and there's a lot of competition in this business, not just here in Australia, but around the world, and a lot of great chefs, and you've just got to keep ahead of the game.
Yeah. What's a good profit margin for a restaurant?
Well, you want to run your food costs about 30%.
Yeah.
Profit margin, well, a cafe can work on 3%.
Yeah.
Good restaurants can work on between 10 and 20%. So some restaurants only do that 3 to 5%.
When you were almost going broke, we're talking early 2000s, I would guess.
It was about 2005, actually.
Yeah, okay, cool.
May 17, 2005, 11 a.m.
Oh, okay, great. You got a tattoo somewhere? What were your mistakes?
A lot of young chefs just think about food and it's all about them, and it's not. And that was one mistake I made, I think. And probably grew too quick, but in saying that, in the last 10 years, we also have now 19 restaurants.
Yeah.
But I sort of have a different head on my shoulders because of that experience I had, nearly going broke.
Yeah.
So that nearly going broke thing, best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. Again, coming back to what general entrepreneurs can learn from the category, that continuous daily live feedback from the customers. I mean, a lot of people will kill for that, right?
Yeah.
Rather than the annual survey of how are we 1 to 5.
That's true.
How do you deal with that always? I mean, the sort of kitchen feedback coming into the kitchen.
You have to. I mean, I'm a big believer of talking to customers, listening to customers.
Yeah.
They're your bread and butter in our business. And when I had Salt, and even now when I, in the restaurants, I'm on the floor talking to customers. How did you like that? What was that? If they don't like something, you've got to understand why.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to like everything you do. That's number one. And you got to remember that and put your ego aside. Not everyone is going to enjoy everything you do.
The skill of building a team has to come in somewhere. Did you always have that, or?
No, I learned to step back, and to grow, you probably need to.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough that all our head chefs in our restaurants have come up through the ranks. Yeah. So from starting from an apprentice to now head chef. Yeah. And to me, that makes sense. So I'm a big believer in promoting within. The team see that, and then they continue to stay. So that's important. And then also giving them freedom to work. Treat that individual restaurant, as their own.
What does money mean to you?
Money means growth. I don't drive a flash car. I'm not flash.
So you rock up in a Lamborghini?
You call that flash? You should see the Ferrari. No, but I mean, money means growth, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard you talk about the when you were younger and looking at the older chefs being sort of chained to a stove kind of thing. Tell me about that moment, and because that comes into diversification. Even within the company, right?
Yeah.
Balancing the cash flow, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I went into a restaurant here in Sydney 10 years ago, but probably longer, 15 years ago, and it was a great restaurant. I used to go there most weekends, and it was a Saturday lunch, and I was looking around, and there was 2 or 3 tables, and every Saturday lunch was always 2 or 3 tables, and this chef who was a friend of mine, he was older, he'd be 50 back then. He was just standing in that kitchen cooking away and miserable, unhappy. Yeah. And he's just trying to make a living, which is great. I'm not knocking that. But I looked in and I just thought, I didn't want to be like that when I was 50. And there was only one way to stop that, and that was to go out and try and expand and do multiple things to get multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
And when you've got multiple streams of income, you can do more things.
Yeah.
And that's the way I looked at it.
And
so
not being as vulnerable.
yeah, and so that was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
So when I first had Salt, I did a cookbook. If one restaurant goes down for me, they're not all going to go down.
No.
Does that make sense? But 20 years ago, one restaurant could have brought, well, it nearly did bring everything down.
Yeah.
So I learned.
Well, you come across very much like a nice guy.
Oh, wow, thanks.
At occasions. You don't know where I'm taking this.
No. What, you want me to buy the next beer?
God damn it. But when are you not, though? I mean, because again, business at some level, at what times are you a cold, harsh businessman?
I'm a big believer in karma. So I think you've got to be careful with all that stuff. And if people are out there to screw you, well, you know, let them do it. Not let them do it, but you know, that's the way they want to be. Do I turn? Sometimes I get pissed off, but I don't like to be taken advantage of.
No.
Or lied to.
As you're starting out, whatever you're starting out with, the incoming is very low. It's mostly outreach.
Yeah.
As you grow, that tend to shift and the incoming increases. And obviously you've got, I would guess, a high level of incoming ideas, projects, people want to start this and that. How do you deal with that? How do you look at that?
If a deal comes to me, money goes over there. Don't even...
Whatever amount of money?
Yep.
100 million in Dubai.
Well, okay. Well, however, someone recently has tried to buy our business. And, you know, they got talking figures. And I said, look, you know what? Let's not talk figures. Let's draw the map of what you want out of my business and what you want and what it means to me and all that. And then we sat down and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? I didn't like the way it sounded. So, because I knew there was no future in it for me. I can take a whole whack now, go Caribbean, go to Italy, whatever.
Yeah, be a good 2 weeks.
Yeah, be a good 2 weeks, exactly. But yeah, that's not my end goal, to be honest. Money doesn't motivate me in that way.
Thanks for your time again.
Thanks, mate.